In we go, and we should be streaming now. And we're in StormWorks doing some testing. Recently in one of the streams I was doing with War Thunder, we were talking about anti-chaff missiles. So I decided to actually look into that. Some radar components essentially are able to output target data, whereas normally you can just use the missile output and then have the radar data be a separate thing if you need it. However, for this, we were trying to use that data because you can filter out chaff. Or at least that is the concept. So, with that being said, hello, unknown gamer. Let's see if we can figure some of this stuff out. That also means I need to see comp read. I want to see what the missile is outputting compared to the data it outputs. Use one of these. Two of these, I guess, for X and Y. And one, two. There we go. So all I need to do now is push this where it can see my target. That's new. And I think I know why. Which would also explain why the current design I'm working with doesn't actually have any outputs. Why it's acting like a dumbfire rocket. I think what was happening with my initial test is since these carry missiles, it was filling all 7 slots. Oh, what was that, unknown gamer? Am I going to do what? So let's see. Change these. See if we get any sort of values popping up here when I look at that. Okay, it's only making corrections when I move it. That's interesting. So what I need to do, I've answered this multiple times. Gamer, I don't intend to play Scrap Mechanic anytime soon. However, I have heard there's a major update coming. If that update has any new content or fixes any major issues, I might return to it. At the moment, no, not really. If there's major updates, maybe in the future. Okay. So that was weird. The first time I tested this, it filled all of these channels. I'm going to push this closer, see if I can get any more of these channels to fill out. Which is also weird because the 4th value is never updating. And the fourth value, if I recall correctly, is the time since detected? Distance, angle, time since detected. So time since detected just doesn't do anything? Maybe it's because I have it on static and not a rotary. Okay. So I figured out one thing I need to change. Save radar reader. Let's load back into these. And let's delete this. Let's put this to 1. Since what I thought was the issue doesn't appear to be the issue. Do I already have a Lua block? No, I don't. Let's go grab a Lua block. Let's grab the input, and then let's put this to an output. So we're going to ignore all of this. Let's edit the script. Don't need a draw step because we're not going to be using a screen in any capacity. Let's clean this up. God, I've got to look up Lua coding stuff. Lua for loops. There we go. For I equals 7. I equals 1. 7. 1. 2. And so target bracket equals 1. Or I need to find help. Don't care about the functions. Get number. Actually, you know what? Get bool. This will be easier. Index I. If equal true. Then and target bracket equals I. And output set number. How do I do this? Is it this? How do you comment, Lua? Hyphen or brackets. Looks like. You do. Nope. You do. Set x. Say x. Set x. Index 1 equal to the input get number doing my math right. 2 times target bracket. And then 3 times. So if I'm correct, this should track the highest target now. All right, it's a little too potent. So let's bump these down. I think these were at 60 before. I think I have my original missiles on here still. So 50, yeah. Let's bring these back down to their initial outputs. And I might have to completely redo these missiles again because I've made modifications to fix some of the issues I was having early on, but it turns out the issue I was fixing was not the root cause. It was because I had a misunderstanding about how radars detect. All right. Let's real quick. Grab this. Function to do. Let's do some math in this bracket. Times 1,000. Divided by input get number 1 for range. So now it should get less squirrely closer it gets if I'm doing this correctly. No, it'd be divided by, not times, divided by 1,000. Divided by 1,000 times this. You get to watch me struggle at math. Do 100. No. Do 1,000. Let's give it as good a target as any. Yeah, it did poorly. Something I want to try is to actually copy the fins from this one. Yeah, they're there. Copy and put these on this missile, because I've changed the fins while testing stuff. And then these will go to here. Maybe these fins have better control. Ooh. Did that actually strike it? So let's clear this. Let's go make sure we have the entire missile. No. Let's copy this. Let's put a few of these on. Now that I know all the previous versions are pretty much non-functional because of the issue that I have now fixed. Let's see. I'm going to aim to left, see if the missile corrects. No, it just flies straight. It's detecting. But unless I shoot it almost directly at it, it doesn't seem to actually do anything. Set Y. So I want to copy these. I'm going to comment these out real quick. I want to do the ones that don't have the distance fixed, quote unquote. That did something. So what if I change that slightly in this version so that it has more potency? About 100. Just keep them distinct. Red. Okay. That seemed to have done something. Let's copy the red ones. So that's the black one. That one just goes all squirrely. Red one. See if the red one can correct to the side as well. No. Doesn't seem to. Detects it. We have it directly on the laser. I might. Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure is better than the black could do. Which are these ones. No, that's just at the perfect range. Black can do it too. No, it didn't. Okay. They're not wanting to turn. I'm not sure why. That's the missile that has no correction. No distance correction. Here's one that has distance correction. Distance correction. That one missed. This one has too much distance correction, possibly. Yeah. That one did hit, though. Alright. Let's see. A few things. Let's save these. Oh, I don't want to load. Save. Anti-Chaff test 2. These are a different batch of rockets. I want to make sure I'm putting the right X and Y into the fins. Multiply, create. Is it comp create? No. Right. If I remember correctly, these have a issue in them that I still haven't fixed. Okay, 1 by default. Let's change you to 2. Let's grab some of these just so I can put some number inputs. Ah, that's an issue. All right, just make you bigger. Input 2, add number, input 1, start channel 1, channel count 2, input 2, 1. Update, yes. Logic, bin. So the second missile has less control. Less distance control. So gray has no distance control. This has very little distance control. Some distance control. These have some. These have a lot of distance control. I think the orange one that I just painted might be the best one so far. So the no distance control just straight up doesn't work. So we're going to get rid of that. Let's see if we can get the orange one to hit consistently at different ranges. Because we've been roughly testing the same range every time. There we go. So from here, orange hits. That actually was a good hit. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer. It's a good hit. Even closer. Okay, maybe not enough. Oh, that was a red one. Ooh! I don't know why that one didn't fire off properly. So the orange ones seem to be doing well. What if I give them even more fin controls? Too much overcompensation? Yeah, that didn't work at all. So let's just copy the orange ones back. And let's see how much distance control has. Let's do even less. Try this. Yeah, that worked really good. That one didn't work at all. That one didn't work. What? The orange ones were just working. That one's a red one. I also don't know why they don't have any, like, Y control. Okay. Right now, the orange ones are the best ones we have. Grab a piece of paper. I'll make sure something's working the way I think it is. Could be completely wrong. I think I am doing this wrong. Yeah, I am doing this wrong. Which would explain why my X and Y aren't working properly. So let's paint you green, because you're the one I want, I think. Let me double check before I do all this overwriting. Yeah. It's clear, copy. So all these are non-functional because of issue that I have just discovered. Hey, we're back to the green color. Would also probably explain why. Let's see if we have any. Ooh. Let me save this real quick. Anti-Chaff vertical launch missile. I want to take this over to my radar reader setup. Composite reader. Where's that? Read. Nothing's detected. Hi, Jazzy. Okay. We move the decimal on these. So it should read a bit better. Why are you reading nothing? You should be reading something. Unless you're not updating quickly enough. So, no, I'm not making top-tack missile. I'm trying to make, as the title says, Anti-Chaff Missile. Problems have been detected in one or more connected scripts. Let's just make sure this is saved. Post it to screen. Yes. Let's load this one. Load comp to screen, because I may have had an issue that I never updated in the finalized version. Yeah, there we go. All right, reads nothing. Okay. Well, problem is right now radar targets center of mass, so I'd have to find a way to get it to attack the top. I have been working with proximity fuse shells as well, which essentially would work the same way as a top attack missile. You just have it set so the missile flies slightly over the tank, so either it hits the tank, which is fine, or it flies over the tank, which is also fine. I haven't done anything that's intended to come down on the tank. I guess if I did the vertical launch high enough, it would come down. But not the intended purpose. That's not what I want. I want you. There we go. All right. Doo-doo. Okay, those numbers are going nuts. Why do these not seem to be moving at all? Is it because they're too sporadic? Do I need to clean those numbers? Infinite electric's already on. Movement is animated. I should see the fins doing something. I know the movement's animated because I just tested it earlier in the stream. I'm going to try and clean these numbers. Oh, that's comp to screen. That's not the one I need to click on. Lua. Let's see something. Where are these fins controlling? Because if I do this, you can actually see the fins move. It's not a lot. Yeah, you can see it's off center. And it'd be even more if I had more than just one. So input get this. And then input get that. This I can just delete for right now. This I can just delete. Smooth underscore X. Smooth underscore Y. On start, smooth underscore count equals 0. Smooth underscore increment X plus equals. Let me double check that's how Lua does that. Does Lua not have a plus equals? Okay. Equals input plus smooth. So I need to set smooth increment X and Y as well. Welcome to the coding episode. Do that. Just to have default values set initially. Smooth increment Y equals plus smooth increment Y. And then smooth count equals smooth count plus 1. If smooth count equals smooth underscore refresh underscore time equals, let's say, 10. This is just how often it's going to try and update the smoothed quote unquote number. Then I'm gonna actually do greater than or equal to just to be safe. And do then and If smooth count is greater than or equal to, oh, I didn't capitalize these properly. There we go. I don't know where that capital T came from. Set smooth count equal to 0. Equals 0. And then set smooth x. We need to set these numbers equals 0. Oh, equals, I don't know why I had to put 1. 0. Then do smooth x, smooth y equals smooth increment x divided by, so this should just get the average every couple of ticks. Smooth refresh time. This goes y, y, this should have new smooth numbers. There we go, it's not flashing as much. And the fins are reacting. Or it is just counting up. Oh, I know why it's counting up. Because I didn't reset the increments. No. Now it shouldn't just count up. Let's do it every 30 ticks. I don't remember how many ticks to a second are in this game. The gamer. It's in the title. Anti-Chaff Missiles. Something's not right here. Oh, do I have... I have less than equal to. I put the wrong... There we go. Oops. So it was not smoothing those numbers at all. Oh, saw it there for a second. There we go. Part of me thinks I'm not seeing it just because it's so low of a value. seeing the fins move. Okay. Now we can change the increment to be less. So it updates more times a second. So let's head back over to Anti-Chaff Missile testing bed. Let's load this new design into the gray one. Okay. That could have hit solely because we were at the right range. So let's get a couple more of these. Let's test. See, doesn't want to correct. Still doesn't want to correct why. Let's increase the amount of force it puts on those fins. Why is it still not turning? Like, it's not maneuvering at all. Did I forget to connect something? Static sweep. It's detecting the target. It's detecting the target or else it wouldn't launch at all. What? Ooh! That did something. Okay. We're getting somewhere. I might actually hook this up to a PID controller. Okay. Real quick, I'm going to paint this one different just so we know it's a new missile. Paint it purple. I'm going to actually hook this composite out. We're going to rip this composite apart. We're going to delete this. We don't need this anymore. Oh. Read 1, 2. We're going to PID these numbers. Set point's always going to be 0. Process variable. Where's the output? There it is. And then we need a comp right 2 channel 1, 2. So now it's not getting direct up down from the. It's running it through a PID. Hopefully. This is even better. Ooh! He is way too strong if that is the case. Let's do an advanced PID. So I can control this a little bit easier. Still hook it up the same way. With the set point still being 0. And then we can just put PID, and we can control both of them. same. Controls. Outside. So 10 was too much. Let's see about 5. Oh, I need to do think a negative into this because it's not direct controls anymore. It's indirect control. I think that's why it's shooting up into the sky. Okay. Question is, do we also have Y movement? Yes. However, it's still too strong. 2.5. Might have to edit the composites that come out. Here, let me edit the composites real quick. Come out of the Lua. I'm gonna do just the turn times. Put that back to 1. Let the PID control basically how fast it's turning instead of having a variable inside of a Lua script doing it. Ooh. That hit it and flipped it. Okay. I'm just going to say the purples are the best ones so far. See if we can get this to consistently hit. Alright, fire. Okay, that was short. It didn't even seem to correct. That one hit. I need to increase the P, I think, now that I counteracted for... Just actually... Make sure these are all on the same page. Didn't that even, like, attempt to correct? Let's go back up to something higher. Like I said, because I don't have the turn times as a variable in the Lua controlling it right now. I'm going to have to turn that back up if I'm getting no results from the PID controls. I would have to set the PID really soft. Okay, it does seem to try and turn. Only a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely trying to turn. So I need to increase this a lot. It's trying. What's funny is I don't even know if this can ignore chaff yet. All of this work and I don't even know if it ignores chaff because I don't even know if it can find the target in the first place. $80 seems to be a little too much. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do 80, 70, 60, 50. See which one of these has the best outcome. So, all of these I'm going to aim at that little dot there. One. That one seemed to do okay. All of those are garbage. However, this one seemed to be the best, so let's start working with the D controller. D variable. Let's go ahead and get rid of all the other missiles on here because I don't need them. This isn't working. I'm going to give... Oh, they're already at 100. I'm going to give the fins more influence. See if that can help keep these in the air. So I think part of it is the squirreliness that's coming out of the missiles that's giving us some issues. Tone down. Fourth one really wanted to work. Okay. Purple one, yeah, the purple ones are definitely still better. What if I just crank this up to something like obnoxious, like 200? Is the missile just gonna go wild? Or will it just randomly be able to hit the target? Yeah, I went wild. Alright, let's put you back down to 80. Let's crank this up to something obnoxious then. Theory. Same test I was doing before. I'm gonna point the missile there. Ooh. Did that actually strike it? I thought it detonated on the ground before it. See how far I can get away with the camera. Oh, we can come all the way out here. Okay. Yeah, that did hit. Had the hill not been in the way... Alright. Let's see, without the hill in the way... Okay. I want to try something. With the X, instead of having it set just for 0, let's actually have it try and hit, what, above? Let's see what this does. 20. This should, in theory, send the missile to space. If it does, it's doing as intended. That was apparently the Y? Or that was the X offset, I guess. Not the Y offset. It's kind of cool to watch the missile spiral out of control, though. Okay. So, if we set this to 0.02, this should try and hit slightly above the target. Which, oddly enough, might end up turning this into a top attack missile at some point. Okay, 0.02 is way above the target. This is just to help it get clearance over any obstacles and make sure it doesn't hit the ground in front of the target. Aiming slightly above center of mass instead of directly center of mass, which is often close to the ground. Zero, 0.02? Ooh. That functioned much more as intended. Let's do 0.04. Make sure the missile has a constant, like, up elevation. Was that a direct hit? It's moving. Alright, so we're going to copy this one. Actually, let's real quick paint it a different color just so that when I copy it, I make sure I do actually make sure. Yep. Make sure I don't miss one when I paste these down. So now, fire. Ooh, goes really close to the ground. That detonated, I think, on the ground in front. Yeah. However, the missile did actually end up hitting it. You might have to hit a little bit higher than that. Let's do camera. Just so we can see where it hits. That was a direct. Where's the other missile? I shot two of them. Did the other missile chase the other missile? I wonder if that was what happened. Ooh. Okay. I do think I need to increase this to about 0.6. These first 4 missiles. Let's give them a nice new color. There we go. Okay, 6 seems to be too much. Six seems to be shooting just right over the targets. Yep. We're just completely missing them now. By quite a bit, actually. Alright. Let's turn this back down. So these were at 4. These were fine at 4. Let's do 4, 5. Watching these things launch is actually really fun. Ooh. That was a direct, like, center of mass as center of mass can be. Okay, yeah, that's a little too high. If it had a turret, it probably would have struck it. Yeah. I'm going to keep these at 4, then. And if all of these hit, we'll call it a resounding success. That just deleted our target. Okay. We have more targets over here. Let's see if we can shoot that one. Oh, it took the far one. Which kind of makes sense, given the way that the system works. But it is still struggling to hit it. Why is it struggling? Is it just because it's below grade? That could be it. That one hit. Yeah, I think it's just because it was so far below. Oh, that one's going to detect me. Why didn't you detect that one down there? Aren't you detecting the tank right in front of you? This one's going to shoot at me. Watch it. Yep. I haven't put the safety system in that prevents it from launching if it... Yeah. Alright. It seems okay so far. If the target's, like, far behind cover, it does seem to struggle a little bit on that. But I guess it could make these launch even higher before doing their tilt, and then that way it would theoretically become top attack. Because right now I don't have line of sight, and I don't think the missiles do either. Because they're both in defilade. Like that one especially is... I can see it, but it's... It didn't even register it. Okay. Interesting. Just for the sake of... Let's do... 5... 10. This should, in theory, send this one much higher. If these are anti-chaff capable, just being able to launch these and just, oh, general direction of target. Okay, that's terrifying. um, that is terrifying. Kind of want to copy that one just because I think it'd be funny to have just something that shoots extremely high into the air. All right. So we're going to save this. Anti-chaff test 3. These missiles function. Now, let's go grab one of our old tanks that has an anti-chaff or a chaff system on it. Not anti-chaff. Proximity fuse tests. Nope, this is another concept vehicle. Where's the actual finished? So this should have a system where if a radar lock-on is detected, it will throw chaff automatically. So we're going to park this up. I'm going to grab a normal missile first. A normal radar missile before we test the anti-chaff missiles. Where's one of my tanks that has missiles? And I don't want the blinker. These should function. Oh, these are the tilt missiles. These should work. For the sake of testing, let me turn off the brake. I forgot this one starts the brake on by default. For the sake of testing, let's make sure these can hit a target. Oh, it's already trying to hit over it. This might be an old vehicle before or after they changed missiles. So let me see if I can find one that has good missiles on it. Laser missile, laser, radar, laser. Lead missiles? Oh, these are laser as well. Stabilizers, SAM sight. This one, these missiles should be my best missiles. If this is the SAM sight one that I'm thinking of. All the missiles. Okay. Alright, that tracks normally. So, when I launch at you, should throw chaff, cause the missile to go way off target. I said it causes the missile to go way off target. Oh well, we'll put this one out here because this one has the chaff as well, because this is the same test bed. Ooh, this one's so much harder to drive with all the weight in the turret from the missiles. The missiles. Let's go. Let's grab this one. And let's load the anti-chaff. So what should happen is this one should launch, turn, detect target. As soon as this one, actually even before possibly this detects target, that one will throw chaff. And this should hopefully ignore it and just go straight for the tank. So, moment of truth. Missile comes up. Missile turns. Tank detects. You can see the chaff just popped. Tank detects radar lock. Missile engages. Chaff detonates. Missile doesn't care. It did hit the barrel, though. Alright, I think I know what happened there. Because now the missile launches from so high up, I don't need this as high anymore. Because this was just for ground avoidance, but now that I'm launching from so high up, I don't need... Sure, that's also, yeah. Alright. Let's try this again. I don't think I damaged anything. I think it just detonated on the tip of the barrel. So. Launch. Camera mode. Missile goes up. Missile starts its turn. Detected chaff. Oh? Interesting. It seemed to still go for the chaff. So just because the missile's shooting from too high up now? And doesn't have time to turn onto the tank? Or is it consistently going for the chaff? That would be an issue caused here. Let's real quick, before we start messing with numbers. Let's just expend the chaff on the tank and see if we can hit it without it deploying chaff. I don't know how many times we have to launch missiles at this thing. I also want to do something to these missiles here. These are the ones that have the lower... No. Let's put this back to 1. Let's put this back to, I think it was 6. Copy. Let's have 4 top attacks and 5 side attacks. See if that changes anything. Okay, so there's no chaff there, and the top attack just couldn't hit it. These should be side attacks. And that did just fine. Okay. So, it seems to have not been an issue with the anti-chaff. Seems to be an issue with the top attack missile concept. Okay. So, I need a new tank. I need to grab this one back. Be these on top of each other. No, get back here. Let's load the one without the missiles because we don't need them for this. There you are. Let's move you off to the side so you don't accidentally clip into the other tank. I still love the look of this tank. And if I recall correctly, the armor... turret armor is just amazing on this. Oh. Just immediately crash it. Alright. So, we know the missile can hit this tank without the chaff system. Let's see if we can hit it with the chaff system. I'm going to proc it here. Move it around. And launch some missiles at it. These are no longer top attack missiles. So, launch. Missiles launching, missiles turning. Detects radar. Chaff is getting ready to fire. Missile goes off. Missile does not care about the chaff. Alright, let's try that again. Let's refresh this. Launch. I don't think we're going to be able to get all the way to the tank. This is also testing how well the missile does at long range. Should do fine. But... chaff launched. Missile incoming. Doesn't care. Oh! Top attack anti-chaff missiles are now on the battlefield. Well, these aren't top attack. These are vertical launch. I think I could do top attack if I did them a little bit better. You know what? Let's experiment with that. Let's experiment with top attack. So now that we know this works and it ignores chaff, let's try and make one that top attacks. Let's just do 4. And let's just do this one to 11. I want it to get to the top of its momentum and then start pivoting. Like, as it's starting to fall. The other one, I think, turned too quickly. Like that. Oh, not enough spin. If these just work, it's gonna be funny. Oh, still not enough turn. I also need to put the safety system in them, so if they don't detect a target, they will just go inert. Alright, let's create a couple of those to see how well they actually strike the target. Okay, launches. That launches from so much higher than the other missiles did. Alright, here's the thing too. How close can these fire? And still strike. Okay. There you go. There's like an upper limit. Looks like. Yeah. I am probably going to stick to the lower launch ones, the ones that side attack. And I'm also going to grab this back, so that's Chaff is equipped again. And then now that its Chaff is equipped and functional, it'd be the temptation to create a radar missile that just shoots way into the stratosphere and just starts looking for targets. If this works, we're going to add the safety mechanism to the missile, so if it doesn't detect a target, it will disengage the radar seeker after so many seconds and just basically make itself inert. Alright. Brakes. Alright. And fire. Think we're going to be able to get behind the tank. Nope. All right. Missile goes up. Missile tilts. Sees target. Chaff is already launched. Chaff launches. Missile does not care. And even if there's chaff already in the air, the missile doesn't care. And even if we fire a ways away, missile still gets on target. That is perfection. Or near perfection, shall we say. Alright. Time to put the safety system in it. So if this is on timer, variable timer outputs a signal when the timer is less than the duration. Sentinel. Timer reaches its duration. Okay, so this time till inert. Say 3 seconds. And this will send a pulse. To that. So let's see. I think I see an issue there with the way I set that up. Input channel 1. This and not. If the timer goes off and it's not detecting anything, then do that. Okay. Actually, no. I have no way to detect when it was launched. Only detect when it finds something. Ah, I see an issue. I have no way to detect when it sees something. Which means I have to make the logic bigger. Oh no. Or I have to no way to detect when it's actually launched. So now, when it is launched, pulse, toggle, timer. If the timer finds its endpoint and there's nothing found, toggle, lock the system. So after 3 seconds, if nothing is found, lock the missile. Don't allow it to engage. Okay. That works as intended. So I want to do timer. Oh, this is something else. Okay. You know what? Let's actually just copy this. Copy. Paste. Merge. Let's set it up so that when the initial launch comes in, what we'll do is instead of doing this, the output will be directly to the timer, since it's never going to find anything. This way I can put a light on here and see when it disconnects. Let's not get a target, let's just fire. Why didn't that go inert? According to light, it didn't go inert. Make sure we connected this up correctly. From the time it launches, pulse, toggle, toggle timer. If timer and nothing is detected, which it won't be, what's this? Wait. You were supposed to do this. Why didn't you update? Don't tell me I did it to this one. Ow! That's not what I wanted. Okay, you are as intended. The other one is the one that should flash the light when the missile goes inert. Be on here. Come on. There we go. Missile's inert. I don't want to do 2.5. So now, launch. Missile goes inert. What? How did it... It should be inert. How did it detonate on me? This is... Yeah, that's controlled by... Why did it arm still? Shouldn't have been able to arm. Let's make sure it doesn't have a target. Fire. Missile goes inert. Okay, it's inert. It's not seeing me. Maybe I just hit it with it. Oh! Using the wrong timer? Timer less than its duration. Reset when off. Reset when off. Let's use a different timer then. Launch. Okay, that had a target. So that technically worked as intended, but it was not what I was trying to test. Why did that full pivot? That was odd. Also want to see something. I want to see if this glitch still works. Nope. Nothing to detect. Missile goes inert. Missile? Missile? Missile's inside the turret right now. It still went off? How? There is no way this should... And... not... do a secondary interlock. Missile functions. Fire, back up. Missile should go inert. Actually, I might decrease that timer. Give it a radar signature. Why is it firing? It is physically locked out of firing. Oh, I see what's going on. I see what's going on. It's the radar that was toggling the lock because I have it attached to the timer? Yeah, because it's on the other end of the timer, that's why. Okay. Launch. It's reversed so it doesn't land inside of us. There we go. Missile should be inert. For like the 10th time I'm trying this. Because what it was the actual radar detection. It should be fully inert now. Okay. Yay, the missile's fully inert now. Actually, going to drop this down to about 2.3. So that as we launch, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's inert. And the inert function only needs to work for the top attacks, or for these vertical launches. I won't need it in a normal radar missile. Fire. Detects target, fires. Strikes. Fire. Detect target, fire. Strike. Let's have these hit just a little higher. They seem to be going for the tracks, which does have some issues. Also, because I made the missiles heavier, they're not launching as high. We've already gotten it to work. We're just kind of adding extra features like a safety system for it. Since these are being used in a top attack manner, I keep saying top attack. Since these are being used in a vertical launch manner, there is a possibility that they never see a target and therefore are on the ground dangerous. There's now a system that on a timer, if it doesn't see a target, so it sees target, fires, does like it's supposed to. However, if it doesn't see a target, like that, and it hits the ground, now the missile's inert. It will not activate, it will not launch, it will not target anything. So if I drive in front of it, it won't just randomly see me and go, ooh, target! It's inert, it's shut off. The missile's no longer active. However, if it does see a target before it goes inert, it doesn't go inert. It's just a missile. Speaking of, should be able to delete these out. Now, let's go ahead and copy this missile. Save it. Let's grab the target. And I can show you the anti-chaff real quick. So, I want to launch and pause the game. Go into photo mode. The missile is going to launch vertically, as is its nature. It's going to tilt, and then once it tilts, it will see target. The target will detect the radar lock-on and send chaff into the air. However, because the missile has the logic in it, it will ignore the chaff and hit the ground. Oops. That was weird. That happened. I have to look into that. Shouldn't have hit the ground. It should actually be significantly higher firing. Is it because the balancing we did to it? Here, I thought this would help balance them. The cut, paste, merge. Make sure all the logic's still connected like it should be, which it is. And then we're going to grab the missile, copy. Try this. Slightly better balance on the missile. I'm just going to keep counting. You're like the 7th person to ask. I don't really have intents to make videos on Scrap Mechanic at the moment. I have heard there's a new update coming out. If the update is good, if it adds any features and it fixes any bugs, yes, I've seen the whole tweet where they're like redid the entire engine, so it's a lot less laggy. So, I don't have any plans to return to Scrap Mechanic at the moment. If the update has any cool features, I probably will at that point. Alright, launch, photo mode. Missile goes up, missile starts to tilt, didn't tilt. What happened? Did I balance it that poorly that it just didn't function? That one tilted. You're better now? There you go. I still want to actually add these in, which probably means I need to boost these up slightly. To make it launch higher and tilt better. Maybe not that much. Let's copy. To some extent, yes. To some extent, no. Honestly, the cannons in StormWorks are absolutely awful. Other tech and other designs, kind of, yeah. There's a lot more engineering and like logical. Skip that ad. There's a lot more engineering, a lot more logic behind this game. However, because the cannons are so garbage, actually making a good cannon tank is really difficult. I think Scrap Mechanic was much more beginner friendly, even with the amount of like glitches we were using on a daily basis. Spawn this in. Let's go and grab our target once more so we can actually see what happens when the anti-chaff system does its job and doesn't break or cause issues. It wasn't the anti-chaff system, it was actually the balancing on the missile that was causing that issue. Hey, average view duration, 420. Nice. Yeah. So, the brakes. Turn this thing around. So launch, pause, photo mode. Now, the missile goes up. Missile starts to turn. Missile sees target and goes into first stage. Target sees the lock on, tries to throw chaff. Missile does not care. And all the chaff is damaged as a result. God, this thing is good. Launch. Launch. Ooh, it doesn't like turning as much anymore. I guess we've made the missile significantly bulkier. Some changes will be necessary before this is like tank ready. And honestly, anti-chaff might also work well for just direct fire missiles instead of doing the whole vertical launch shenanigans. And to be honest, the vertical launch was a lot more for the sake of lasers, because the radar-based missiles, you can launch at a pretty high incline. They'll still see the target and do just like that, dive onto it. Yeah, it's having a hard time turning. Which at this point, I've seen it do better. It's just the sake of, I think this missile is just so much bigger that it's having a hard time. There. So much heavier. It's having a hard time hefting itself around in the air. But we now have a missile that ignores chaff or ignores a single shot of chaff and should ignore up to like 7 shots of chaff. This is just absolutely glorious. Ooh. Saved by the terrain. And also probably poor missile balancing. Oh, this is glorious. Let's see what these missiles do being fired on the move. Oh! Saw me! Yeah, they don't like being fired on the move. Let's see if I'm on a angle. If the missile had a bit more control, yeah, I could definitely do that. Can kind of already do it. Especially if I help it. Yeah, the fins just don't have enough control at those angles. Which is something I will likely fix. This is terrifying. Anti-Chaff Missiles. So let's save this. Test 4. Let's grab this. And let's for the sake of experimentation, I'm going to actually modify this. So normally the chaff goes off in series. Let me find the first one in the series, this one. So we're going to launch all the chaff at once to see if we can protect ourselves. This should be enough to even distract the anti-chaff radar. This is going to mean is for every one missile, you're going to need 7 pieces of chaff. Where before it was a 1-to-1 or maybe like a 2-to-1. Now you're going to have to, like, to actually protect against missiles, you're going to have to throw so much chaff. And it's genuinely terrifying. Launch the missile and pause. Are you ready? Oh, all of the chaff. That distracted the missile. You can also see the fins going nuts, which is nice. Oh no, the chaff. It has gone away. Oh, this is perfect. Oh, this is perfect. This is, like, really good. Really, really good. Oh, this is gorgeous. Absolutely. Oh, that was the direct fire laser. I accidentally shot that. Oops. It's still hitting the ground quite often. I could fix that probably by removing the squirreliness. Alright, missiles disarmed. Good. Hey, it's nice to see my inert missile inert system actually activating. Yeah, these missiles don't like being fired on the move, just because of their vertical takeoff system. Alright. So, I am going to call this just a success. Like, I could not have asked for a better outcome from this testing today. To not only have a functional missile, but a functional missile that completely ignores chaff and can hit a target reliably. I think the next step would be to put this into a direct fire missile just to see how it would work and make sure it works the same way. Which would make the missile much smaller and much easier to just put on things. And I'm assuming because it'd be smaller and lighter, it'd also be much more maneuverable and be easier to carry onto a tank instead of this interesting vertical system that I've been using. So with all of that being said, I am going to actually end the stream out here, just so I can get some stuff done, and who knows, might make a video on this soon. So, anyway, I'm going to end it here. Thanks for stopping by, thanks for sticking around, and until next time, peace.